Well, thank you, Dr. Bunchar, for that introduction. If I'm not the most famous, I'm probably the oldest archaeologist still working in Southeast Asia. So that's a tribute to perhaps Thai hospitality and Thai food that I've survived so long with an interest in the history, art and archaeology of Thailand. I also should pay tribute to my old friend Ajahn Putorn, who I've known since I was first working in Thailand in the 1980s. That's what, 35 years ago? Is that so right? A long time. Anyway, to some extent, his interest in Lopburi and the early history of Thailand inspired me in the work that we undertook particularly at the site of Bandon Tapet. Now I shall mention the title Dvaravati Gap is perhaps not the best one, because I believe in one of the introductions of the process it was called the Pre-Dvaravati Gap. That is indeed a better title. I should have thought about it and used that myself, because what I'm talking about is what I understood at the time, and I think is still there, a substantial gap in the archaeological record between the late prehistoric Iron Age, which we recognise in Western Thailand, but in other parts of Thailand too, and the emergence of mature cultural civilization, which in this area we refer to as Dvaravati. So this is the background to it, because I could see, even in the 1980s, between the material that we excavated at Bantan Tapet, which I also had seen at other archaeological sites, a substantial difference in the sort of material, the scale, the organisation of it, and also the sites between that of material I had seen in the National Museum in Utong and also in the National Museum in Bangkok. And I'm going to illustrate my talk today really more visually than talking about it. So what I'll be presenting is a series of illustrations of material from particularly one site which I've been mostly involved in, Bandon Tapet, and Dvaravati material. Bandon Tapet is about 25 kilometres south of Utong on the road towards Kanchanaburi, just a kilometre or so off the side of the road. And material was found there in the 1970s when the school master arranged to extend the area of the village school, and the children actually found some buried material there. He notified the Fine Arts Department, and archaeological work started in 1975, led by the Fine Arts Department. It was material which was of extraordinary, new, unusual material, extraordinary interest. And I developed a sort of a concern with this because we had at the time a Thai student, now Dr. Waraikana Rajpitak, who was working on the conservation of bronzes from the site. She had worked actually in the excavations, came to our institute in London and worked on the conservation of material from the site, and together with